Ladies and gentlemen, now it's too late with Alan Mosley.
Is it though?
Not that
Yeah. It's not really that it's two either. Guys, welcome back for another It's Too Late community live stream. I am your host, Alan Mosley, joined as always by the number one producer in late night. It's Dave Willimowski. Dave! Dave, how are you doing? You look very tropical.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt wearing something a little uplifting. I don't know.
Yeah. I was considering wearing a button-up shirt to look a little bit more, you know, like not formal, but like business casual. Yeah. And now I'm glad I didn't, because I know it really upsets you when we're wearing the same thing to work.
Yeah, I don't want to show up in the same outfit. That'd be awkward.
Yeah. Aaron Armand says, send Alan some money he won't share with Dave. And then there's a series of links. Yet. Boy, truer words. Yeah. Well, Dave, listen, at this point, I feel like I'm so far in the hole that I have to recover, like there's interest
recouping.
to be paid off.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get on the principal, which is your
Yeah.
salary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. But man, it's going to be a big windfall for you. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
You look at I don't know if you guys knew this or not. So last week, this is what happened. Last week, I didn't feel like doing a show. And so I thought, well, we got to do something, because how am I going to get people to continue to give me money if I just zero dark 30 the stream on Wednesday nights? And so I thought, well, we'll do a community stream, but it'll be like a throwback. It'll be like our old school show that we used to do, where it'll be like more history oriented, because of course I am a historian, as you may well know. And last week we did, what did we do last week? Oh, we did that article. I wrote an article that was published that was about some stuff. And so I thought this week, we actually got some good response on that. We actually had some people saying, I really liked last week's episode. I want more of those, which is wild, because I thought I had all comments disabled.
They got through. Yeah.
They got that's right. And so I thought for this week, you want to talk about things you might not know. I started writing a book.
Wow.
Right?
That's great.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
No,
that's
your
great.
initial reaction is what, yeah. That's going to be most people's. And so I thought what we would do for tonight's show is I actually already have, I mean, it's really only like the manuscript. So this is just a draft. This is, this is, we're just in the alpha. Content tonight is not necessarily indicative of the final product. Subscribe to learn more, all that stuff. But this is a preview of the first chapter of my forthcoming book.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't have a name for it.
It's work in progress. Working title.
Yeah, that's a good name. Should call it Work in Progress. That's good. No, I'm going to save that for a different idea. Actually, the inspiration for this book is I thought, because you guys know I work for the 10th Amendment Center, and I thought it would be cool to do a collection of essays on figures who were influential towards the spirit of the 10th Amendment and state sovereignty. And then I thought, okay, well, great. Then that way it'll be like bite-sized chunks, both for me, the author, and for you, the reader. And then I thought, well, how many? So then I came up with a top 25 list. And then I realized that's retarded. So now it's a top 10 list.
That sounds better.
So this, doesn't it? So this is the first chapter covering the first figure that I feel are the top 10 most influential people towards the spirit of the 10th Amendment and state sovereignty, which is, of course, Samuel Adams.
Ooh.
Dave, what do you think of Samuel Adams?
I mean, it's a good Boston lager. I like that, and he's got a real solid like cherry wheat. Mary was never into him, but it's a strong flavor. But I'll take it.
Well, okay, now that we've got that out of the way, you're going to love what the title of the article is, which is Samuel Adams, More Than a Brewery.
Oh.
That
okay,
is actually
really?
the chap. That is actually the name of that's your first chapter. Yeah. Samuel Adams, More Than a Brewery.
Yeah.
Samuel Adams. Born in Boston on September 27th. Ooh, whose birthday is that? That's right. Me and Samuel Adams share a birthday. How about that?
Nice.
Born in Boston on September 27th, 1722. He's a little bit older than me. Emerged not merely as a firebrand revolutionary, but as one of the most persistent advocates of local self-government in the American founding era. While his name is often tied to the Boston Tea Party and the machinery of resistance in Massachusetts, his deeper legacy rests in the philosophy that political authority is safest when it remains close to the people. That conviction, grounded in a lifetime of observing the dangers of centralized authority, became a philosophical ancestor to the 10th Amendment's guarantee that powers not delegated to the federal government remain with the states or the people. Educated at Harvard College, he went to Harvard. Educated at Harvard. Adams was steeped in the classical. It is different back then. They weren't all gay, trans. Yeah. Adams was steeped. I actually can't confirm or deny if Samuel Adams was trans, but I strongly believe he wasn't, because he was steeped in, quote, the classical and Puritan traditions that emphasize civic virtue, moral duty, and a suspicion of unchecked power. His master's thesis at Harvard argued that it was lawful to resist the supreme magistrate if the Commonwealth's liberties were threatened, a position that presaged the constitutional principle that sovereignty ultimately lies with the governed. As from Adams' Political Essays, 1743. This early academic statement wasn't a youthful outburst, but the start of a lifelong project. Cultivating in his fellow colonists the idea that government derives its just authority from the consent of the governed, and that such authority must be limited in scope. I see they're talking about Bishoko Tensei in the chat, just FYI. It's
see what you did?
It's just...
This is your fault.
Yeah, it's just weird. All right.
It's a virus.
I love it. Can't wait. From his earliest public engagements, Adams operated less as a theorist in an ivory tower and more as a street-level organizer. His political apprenticeship came in Boston town meetings, hyperlocal forums that allowed ordinary citizens to debate and direct policy without the interference of distant authorities. Here, Adams developed both his rhetorical style and his conviction that liberty could be reserved only if citizens actively participated in government close to home. Close to home. How many of you people vote once a year for president, and then you don't even have any clue what's going on like 2 blocks from your house? just throwing that out there. Yeah. This was more than municipal pride. It was a structural safeguard. In Adams's mind, centralized power, whether in London or later in a consolidated national capital, would always drift towards tyranny unless anchored by the counterweight of local institutions. By the 1760s, Adams was already writing newspaper essays warning against what he called the design of an empire, a subtle but deliberate process by which distant rulers would erode colonial self-rule in favor of a single imperial authority. These warnings were not about taxation in isolation. They were about the broader principle that political power must be both derived from and restrained by the communities it governed. His insistence on binding government to the limits set by its constituents anticipated the later constitutional doctrine that powers not specifically granted are retained by the states and the people.
Hell yeah.
Moving on now to his early political career and pre-revolutionary contributions. Adams' first significant role in colonial politics came in 1764, when Boston appointed him to draft the town's instructions to its representatives in the Massachusetts General Court. This was not a ceremonial task. In that year, the Sugar Act and the looming threat of the Stamp Act stirred colonial resentment, and Adams' instructions were a masterclass in constitutional argument. He asserted that the colonists were entitled to the same liberties as Englishmen, grounded at really more. Really, we have more. We should have more rights than.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Way over here.
Grounded in the natural rights of mankind and confirmed by the colonial charters. Most critically, he rejected the notion that Parliament had an unlimited legislative authority over the colonies, insisting instead that such authority was limited by the rights of the people and the specific compacts under which they had consented to be governed. Imagine consenting to be governed, right?
Cucks.
That same year, Adams' rhetoric sharpened into a direct challenge to imperial centralization. He framed British overreach not as a series of unfortunate policy errors. Oops. Unfortunate.
Whoopsie.
But as a part, I make myself laugh sometimes when I'm writing this shit. I don't know if other people. All right. but as a part of a deliberate pattern to enslave the colonies by erasing their rights to govern themselves in internal matters. In this sense, Adams' logic anticipated the later American federal framework, where internal and local governments was to be preserved to the states, with only explicitly enumerated powers granted to a central authority. Sounds a lot like last week's episode there.
Yeah.
In 1765, Adams' position solidified during the crisis over the Stamp Act. While many I like the Stamp Act. That was one of the things they taught us in school. That's one of them. While many colonial leaders focused on the economic burden, Adams homed in on the constitutional injury. Taxation without representation was, in effect, legislation without consent, and thus an act of usurpation. His circular letters and newspaper essays during this period linked the Stamp Act to the broader danger of an absolute authority that recognized no limits, an authority that, left unchecked, would dismantle all local autonomy. He wrote that in the Boston Gazette in 1765. Nowadays, it's just what happened in Survivor last night. The Stamp, is Survivor still on? I don't know. Maybe I'm the boomer. I don't know. The Stamp Act's repeal in 1766 did not lull Adams into complacency. He understood that central authorities rarely relinquish power voluntarily and often reassert it under different guises. By 1768, as a member of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, Adams drafted the Massachusetts Circular Letter. I actually saw you can get a copy of this. It was on eBay. I can't afford it, but you can get a copy of this Massachusetts Circular Letter that he drafted in 1768 on eBay.
For a copy.
Well, I don't mean a copy as in off of a Xerox. I mean from 1768.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
A pivotal document in colonial resistance. We should crowdfund buying that off of eBay. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but...
Yeah, we have it, though, just in case.
Yeah. It'll be a door prize at next year's live event. Like everybody's really going to want that, Blu-ray player. But nope, sorry. You got the Massachusetts Circular Letter from 1768.
Next thing I know, Alan's saying, you weren't supposed to give that away.
Right?
that was mine.
The letter argued that Parliament had no right to tax the colonies without their consent and called for united action among the colonies. More importantly, for the later 10th Amendment tradition, Adams's letter underscored the idea that each colony was a distinct political society, bound to Britain by a voluntary compact, not by an inherent subordination to an unlimited central authority. This conceptual framing, that sovereignty is divisible and that local polities retain ultimate authority over their internal affairs, would later be mirrored in the federal principle of state sovereignty. So years before the Revolution, he was circulating essays in a paper saying, we should get together. We should tell them, fuck off. That's how you get got, by the way.
Yeah, he's on a list.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, next paragraph. The Crown's reaction was swift and severe. Parliament demanded the letter's retraction, and when Massachusetts House refused, the governor dissolved it. Oh, no more Parliament for you. Oh,
man.
man.
Don't know how to conduct it.
Far from deterring Adams, this confrontation confirmed his suspicion that centralized power, once unmoored from local accountability, would inevitably become hostile to liberty. His response was to double down on organizing resistance at the local level. That's what you do. You just double down. When they say, if you keep doing this, we're going to kill you, you say, I'll do it more. Yeah. A tactic that laid the groundwork for the committees of correspondence. These committees, born in Massachusetts and later spreading throughout the colonies, functioned as decentralized, autonomous networks of communication and coordination. A practical demonstration of how political action could be sustained outside a central governing body. That's right, Codain. Just kill those who kill you, but you can't have already been killed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Revolutionary leadership and defense of local autonomy. Now we're getting up to the years of the revolution here. He was talking all that shit a decade before.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the early 1770s, Samuel Adams had become both the intellectual architect and the operational strategist of the patriot cause in Massachusetts. His leadership in orchestrating the committees of correspondence had already proven that decentralized political structures could outmaneuver imperial authority. When Britain's response to colonial petitions grew more coercive, more infamously through the Coercive Acts of 1774, it's really on the nose, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, they named it.
Yeah, you guys are being so coercive. Oh yeah, watch this. Coercive Acts. Yeah. Adams saw an existential threat. I miss the old days. See, nowadays you have things like Patriot Act, but it's not patriotic at all.
Yeah.
But the Coercive Act,
Act or something. Yeah.
now it was damn coercive. Yeah. Adams saw the Coercive Act, and it's just they call it the Peace and Liberty Between the Colonies Act. I don't know. Adams saw an existential threat to local governance itself. To him, these acts were not isolated punishments for the Boston Tea Party. They were the blueprint for replacing self-government with a centrally administered regime. Adams' role in convening the First Continental Congress in 1774 was guided by his conviction that any united colonial action must safeguard, not supplant, the sovereignty of each colony. Key there. Safeguard each individual colony because they're all separate states, not one. Just throwing that out there. In debates over how to structure collective resistance, he argued that the Congress should act as a coordinating body rather than a legislative authority over the colonies. This was a critical philosophical point. Unity was necessary to resist British power, but such unity could not come at the expense of each colony's right to govern its own internal affairs. That was in a letter he wrote to James Warren in 1774. When the war erupted in 1775, Adams carried this principle into the Continental Congress. As independence moved from a whispered idea to an official objective, Adams insisted that the new Union of States must be formed on the basis of retained sovereignty. His correspondence during this period reveals a consistent emphasis on federalism, a central authority competent for external defense and diplomacy, but strictly limited in its reach over domestic matters. Adams' signature on the Declaration of Independence, he was one of the signers, in 1776 was more than symbolic. The Declaration's assertion that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed was, in his view, not merely a rhetorical flourish, but a binding principle of constitutional design. You know, that's one of those things, just real quick, you know how like your teacher in your classroom can be like, which of you guys would have been abolitionists in 1845? And every student raises their hand. You're like, no, you wouldn't have. Like, everybody was cool with slavery in 1845. So you're going to be this just super brave, just warrior monk who's going to stand up against slavery when the whole country's for it. No, you wouldn't. You know? So same thing here. Everyone's like, I would sign the Declaration of Independence. Oh, you would. So if you were a wealthy landowner in the colonies, you would actually write a document that says, fuck off Britain, KYS King, and then you would put your name on it, and then you would actually send it to him. No, you would not. Everyone thinks that they're that brave, and they don't realize how easy it is to be that brave in 2025.
Yeah.
Versus 1774. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the United States, that's in quotation marks, little u, big S, which is an important distinction. Named in the Declaration were to Adams precisely that, united in purpose, but separate in political identity. This view carried forward into the Articles of Confederation, where he strongly supported language affirming that each state, capital S, state, retains its sovereignty, freedom, and independence in every power, jurisdiction, and right not expressly delegated to the United States. It's from the Articles of Confederation, 1781. His fear, which he voiced repeatedly, was that any national government possessing undefined or implied powers would eventually expand its reach under the guise of necessity.
Yep.
We're already getting to necessary and proper. We haven't even written the Constitution yet. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right, Howard. The Civil War was a federal slaveholding republic that fought another federal slaveholding republic. That's right. All right. Writing to Elbridge Gerry, what a name.
Yeah, really.
I'm gonna name my
Elbridges.
I'm gonna name my son Elbridge. That's right.
Yeah.
Also, Theophilus Parsons is another good founder. Theophilus.
Theophilus.
See, they'll want to call you Theo, but you punch him in the face.
No.
You say no, it's Theophilus
Call
to
me
you.
Phallus. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll already call you that. Writing to Elbridge Gerry in 1776, Adams cautioned that the people are apt to be deceived into giving away their liberties in the fond hope of security. Boy, what does that sound like?
Right.
As a letter to Elbridge Gerry in 1776. I love our folks, by the way, in chat who watch Path to Liberty over on the 10th Amendment Center's channel, because this is like that, but with mine and Dave's horrific commentary. This skepticism toward concentrated power, whether monarchical or republican, monarchical or republican, would later resonate in the debates over the U.S. Constitution and the push for a Bill of Rights, culminating in the 10th Amendment. Even during the war, Adams remained vigilant about internal governance. While many revolutionary leaders concentrated exclusively on military matters, he pressed the Massachusetts legislature to preserve the strength and independence of its local institutions. Town meetings continued to serve as a check on state officials, and Adams saw these as microcosms of the federal arrangement he envisioned, autonomous units retaining control over their own affairs while cooperating for common defense and mutual benefit. Town meetings continue to serve as a check on state officials. We can't have those because during this year's recess, our state officials went to Israel. And
Yeah.
so they're not in our
Field trip.
Yeah, they're not here getting tarred and feathered by their constituents. They're overseas. It's ridiculous. Post-revolution constitutional debates and advocacy for a Bill of Rights. The conclusion of the Revolutionary War did not bring Samuel Adams the political satisfaction he might have anticipated. Not enough blood for the blood god for him. Not enough skulls for the skull throne. Peace with Britain in 1783 only shifted the arena of concern from imperial overreach to the possibility of domestic consolidation. Under the Articles of Confederation, Adams saw a system more in line with his principles, one that kept most powers at the state level and assigned only narrow, defined responsibilities to the Congress. Yet even within this looser arrangement, he remained alert to the risk of centralized encroachment. But then we need to have a dun-dun-dun button.
Dun-dun-dun.
When the Constitutional Convention met in 1787 and produced a draft of the new federal constitution, Adams approached it with deep skepticism. His initial hesitation stemmed from the absence of a Bill of Rights and the breadth of implied powers granted to the new federal government. In particular, the necessary and proper clause and the supremacy clause struck him as open invitations for the national government to extend its reach far beyond its intended boundaries. Boy, don't you hate to say I told you so, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you got him.
Man, if old Sam Adams was here today, Be stacking bodies. In private correspondence, Adams warned that without explicit limitations, the people will have been delivered up to the boundless will of an ambitious few. That was his letter to Richard Henry Lee in 1787. I did write this. This is chapter 1 of my forthcoming book.
Yes.
It gets way worse from here. No, I hope it doesn't. You know how it is. You get all that energy flowing when you get started, and then by the end, just bleh. Adams was not opposed to union itself. He understood the necessity of a common defense and stable currency. But he insisted that the compact be built on the voluntary consent of sovereign states. His position placed him within the camp of conditional federalists, willing to support the Constitution only if amendments were added to restrain federal authority. In the Massachusetts Ratifying Convention of 1788, Adams played a critical role in brokering the Massachusetts Compromise, whereby delegates would ratify the Constitution, but simultaneously recommend amendments, foremost among them a Bill of Rights. I kind of don't agree with that. I mean, I'm not there, so they don't give a shit whether I agree with it or not. But I'm just saying, the idea is that look, we'll because you had to have 9 of the colonies had to ratify, and at one point in time, it didn't look like the Constitution would be ratified, and some of the states gave in and said, well, we'll ratify it, but we're going to propose some amendments, like right off the jump, we need to add this in. How about you just don't ratify it, shut the whole thing down, and if they want to, they can try again later. It's just my opinion. Among the proposed amendments Adams supported was language that would later echo in the 10th Amendment, a clear affirmation that powers not delegated to the federal government are reserved to the states or to the people. This was not an afterthought. It was, in Adams's mind, a non-negotiable safeguard against the very kind of centralized tyranny the colonies had just escaped. He understood that the energy and efficiency sought by some Federalists could easily transform into coercion if not firmly bounded. Even after ratification, Patrick Henry's my favorite founding father. That's the next chapter. Even after ratification, Adams continued to advocate for these amendments. As lieutenant governor and later governor of Massachusetts, is there anything this guy didn't do? He maintained correspondence with leaders like Thomas Jefferson and Richard Henry Lee, reinforcing the need for constitutional barriers to federal overreach. His speeches during this period often revisited the theme that, quote, the people are the fountain of power, and that their most effective means of retaining it was through strong state governments and active local participation. That was a speech he gave to the legislature in 1794. So that had been pretty late in his life. In this way, Adams helped ensure that the push for a Bill of Rights remained a central political demand until Congress acted in 1789. While he did not draft the 10th Amendment itself, his decades of advocacy for local autonomy, limited central authority, and clear constitutional boundaries made him one of its philosophical forefathers. The language of the 10th, reserving undelegated powers, was a crystallization of principles Adams had championed since his earliest days in Boston politics. Moving on to a little bit about his legacy and to wrap this all up. By the time Samuel Adams retired from public life in the mid-1790s, the nation he had helped to found was already showing signs of the tensions he had warned against. That has to be a big bummer, doesn't it? Like, imagine being a revolutionary that fought the British, and within your lifetime, you're already seeing it come apart.
Yeah, living long enough to see it fall apart, yeah.
Yeah. The rise of partisan divisions, the expansion of federal power under the Washington and Adams administrations, and the controversial Alien and Sedition Acts of 1798 all confirmed his long-standing fear that liberty could be eroded not only by distant kings, but also by ambitious leaders within the Republic itself. Though Adams was in declining health by the late 1790s, his political instincts remained sharp. He quietly supported the opposition to the Alien and Sedition Acts, regarded them as blatant oversteps of federal authority into matters of speech and political association, domains that, in his view, lay beyond the legitimate reach of the national government. While he did not directly participate in drafting the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions, his philosophy aligned closely with the compact theory advanced by Jefferson and Madison. The federal government was a creation of the states, and any powers not expressly granted to it was reserved to them. That's straight from Kentucky resolutions, Jefferson penned in 1798. We talked about that last week. Who is sovereign? Something that was created by someone else can't be sovereign. So what's the sovereign? Is the federal government sovereign?
No.
No, the federal government was created by the states. Are the states sovereign?
No.
More so than the federal government. But who created the states? The people.
The people
Are the sovereign.
Right.
That's right. Drink. Anyway, Adams' influence on the spirit of the 10th Amendment is thus both philosophical and practical. Philosophically, he nurtured the conviction that liberty flourishes when power is decentralized, when local communities retain the ability to govern their own affairs without interference from a distant authority. Practically, he demonstrated how this principle could be embedded in political structures, from Boston's town meetings to the Articles of Confederation, from the Massachusetts Ratifying Convention to the final form of the Bill of Rights. What sets Adams apart from many of his contemporaries is his consistency. Long before independence was a mainstream position, he was articulating the need for constitutional limits and the sovereignty of local institutions. He carried these principles through every stage of his career, resisting the temptation common among revolutionaries turned statesmen to consolidate authority once they had gained it. This fidelity to decentralization places him in a direct line of intellectual ancestry to the 10th Amendment. In modern terms, Adams would be recognized as a champion of subsidiarity, the idea that political decisions should be made at the most local level competent to handle them. In 18th century America, that meant towns governing themselves, states retaining control over domestic policy, and a national government restricted to enumerated powers. The 10th Amendment, ratified in 1791, distilled this vision into law. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Though Adams did not live to see the full development of constitutional jurisprudence on this clause, its essence was the same as the one he had argued for since 1764. Samuel Adams belongs among the 10 most important figures in the history of the 10th Amendment, not because he authored its text, but because he cultivated its spirit. His relentless defense of local self-government, his suspicion of centralized authority, and his insistence that sovereignty rests with the people provided the philosophical soil in which the amendment could take root. In an era when the balance between state and federal authority remains a live question, Adams's legacy serves as a reminder that liberty's first line of defense is and has always been close to home. Yeah, we didn't add an applause. This is the best we can do. Yeah.
Okay. Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Yeah. We're going to do that at the end of every single one of these that we do.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that it can't be shared by good, respectable folks. Yeah.
Any reputable source.
So that's the first chapter in a 10-part collection of essays. It's being written, Michael. When I know, you'll know. but that is the first chapter. It's gonna be 10 a collection of 10 essays on 10 different folks. And yeah, it's the first one. So there you go.
It's good. Yeah. I like thinking about these guys are writing these letters about, the consent of the governed and where power lies and everything, and then sending it to a king. It's just
Yeah.
hilarious to me. And he's like,
Yeah.
"What the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
What
And
are they
you and me
doing
are
over
just,
there?"
and we just share each other memes during work.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't write each other letters about how we
Yeah.
should off some Brits.
Alan,
Well, we probably have a
I'm a
couple
little
times,
worried.
but
I'm worried they're encroaching.
yeah. Well, thank you, Howard. There you go. I
That's
know
pretty
I
funny.
need to. I mean, I really got the majority of the body of this whole book done. I just need to write a foreword, and then I need to get a firm title for the book because the title can't be the top 10 figures who most influenced the spirit of the 10th Amendment and state sovereignty. That's a bit long.
And other essays I wrote.
Yeah, and some memes.
Just sprinkle
No,
it.
Alan does not have a job. Ryan, no one will hire me. I'm just.
So
I'm
he's
just
making
that.
one. He's
Yeah,
an
I'm
author
just
now.
that untalented and unhireable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent a manuscript of my book into Best Buy. They wouldn't hire me. It's the
Really?
weirdest shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. I know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to send them. I'm not going to let those bastards steal my book.
Yeah.
See it on store shelves tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
The top 10 figures for the 10th Amendment by your friends at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Free
So,
with the new
yeah.
Keisha album.
I just now scrolled over to the Twitch feed and I see a giant me head.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Lyle.
Oh, you got the Giantify.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Codain just asked for a zine, and then I just decided, fuck it, I'm writing him a book.
A whole book.
Yeah. Ryan says, I'll get you hired at Best Buy. Actually, no thanks. I'm looking for a job in line with, my skills and education. I feel like it's about time I should be able to get one of those. It's been a minute. Yeah. Oh, there's a giant Dave.
Yeah. Look at that beard, man. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Great beard.
What random issue? What's with the deformed rabbits? They're making me really uneasy. Have you seen that? Have you seen the rabbits with the black tentacles?
That just started. Yeah. Now it's everywhere. Like, man, they will do anything to keep that Epstein list.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of anime, and that's bad. Those are.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, you don't want to touch those. No, sir.
And next thing you know, the heroes are going to start showing up. They're going to fight them.
No, they showed up in the 1770s, and then they just fucked off, and we started doing whatever.
That's good. American history in an eggshell.
Yeah. Yeah, they set it all up, and then we just did whatever. It's fine.
Yeah,
I don't have a gender studies degree, Ryan. I have a history degree, which is pretty much the same thing, but
just as valuable.
yeah, it's just as valuable. But with all of my skills in content, in media, audio, video, writing, editing, I'm just gonna do that or die trying. Which is only like, how far is that, Dave?
I lost track.
45 days. It's getting down there.
It is.
It's getting low. Man, I remember when that was 3 digits.
Yeah. Where does the time go?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much at this, when there's only 45 days remaining, the only thing that can stop that countdown timer is me getting a great job and Celeste confirming her attendance to next year's live event.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. She said that. She feels like she's under a lot of pressure. And I mean, I feel like that depends on how much you value my life. If you don't really care, then it's not really that much pressure at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I told Dave, you have to confirm you're coming to next year's live event, or in 45 days, I'm out of here. Dave would say
I don't know
that's
what the yeah.
yeah.
Things come up sometimes. I
Yeah.
can't commit.
Yeah. Now you're gonna spend 45 days trying to weasel your way out of it while Mary's bitching at you about buying your tickets.
Wait, I want to see how this plays out before I send the money.
Yeah. Like, did he mean does he mean the start of the 45th day or midnight? Like 11:59 or midnight.
And that's when the promo codes end for the tickets. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Forte says you have a better chance at getting the job. Damn. I mean, Celeste has been here a few years.
Yeah,
It's not like she's never come.
hey, she's a mom now, though. Life's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
Well, that
exponentially
yeah.
better.
Yeah, but the little one's going to be the one driving down here pretty soon.
Yeah, at least dressing herself.
I think you guys should let D3 do some of the driving next year.
He might. By then, yeah, he might be. He's gotten on the interstate and back off.
You're almost there, Dave. You're almost to the point where Mary's going to want to drive for a while so she doesn't have to mess with the kids, and D3 for drive for a while, and you'll just have the whole back seat to yourself. You're just going to conk out.
Oh yeah, be watching Marvel movies and
Yeah. You're almost there. Like the finish line is within reach.
that's the danger zone.
Yeah.
Surprise,
Oh yeah,
number
you're
four,
gonna be back there pounding him back, and when D3 gets pulled over and they ask him if there's an open alcohol container, he's gonna say no. You're gonna say and then it's D3 that's fucked because he was the one behind the wheel.
What did I tell you about lying to the cops?
You'll have to do that thing. You're gonna have to hand him the open vodka bottle and say, "You'll have to continue your journey on from here." And you just get out and start walking down the interstate
into the sunset.
Yep. Let me know how this all turns out. Damn. Poor D3. I might be heading to New Hampshire for a few days in a couple of weeks. Any free staters I should meet? I mean, I'm sure that I know people who are from there, but I just don't really connect the two. The only one I really know is Eric Brakey, and I don't know if Eric Brakey I mean, you can check to see if you can meet with him. But honestly, like, I'm perfectly fine with them having their little free state project thing, but I don't support it and never would because I'm a Southern supremacist.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Like, I really don't care. I'm not going up there. So I actually got invited. This was years ago. This was back when I was still doing the Gold Standard. I got invited to do a live episode of the Gold Standard at PorkFest back in 2019. And I was like, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Because, well, originally I said I gave them a soft commitment that I would do it because they only had so many like time slots and stuff, in the different tents and whatever. And so at first I said softly yes, and then I got on Google Maps to see how long the drive was from Columbia, Tennessee to Bumblefuck, New Hampshire, wherever it is that they have Manchester, New Hampshire. And
that's a long drive for me.
It was a minute. Well, I mean, me being a Southern supremacist, it's just the South and then all you guys. So to me, it was just Manchester, New Hampshire. It's just all the same. All of y'all are just one contiguous blob of the North. And so if it's 9 hours to Erie, it's 9 hours to there.
Give or take. Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I don't think there's like a straight shot. Like, I think you have to get on a ferry at some point and like float across the river.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 18 hours 42 minutes.
Ooh. That's That's 2 long days if you were to break it up. that's, that's a long drive.
So after I saw that, I just kind of sat on it for a while, and then I bowed out. Just, yeah. I just said, look, I thought you guys were just a few miles north of Virginia.
Yeah.
And it's true that they're that direction.
Mm-hmm.
From here. It's the same way, but you just got to keep going, you know?
For a while. Yeah.
And going. Yeah. It's really
Pretty
stupid.
dry,
Like, yeah. You should just, I'm sure it is. I don't know, but
not gonna find out.
what's funny is that the furthest north I've ever been is when I was in high school. I went to New York, and it's you still keep going.
Yeah.
And that was super long then, and you still gotta go. It's like another 4 hours to the fucking New York. That's bullshit. This country should stop right there. I thought I was about to hit Nova Scotia. All right. So anyway, I'm not going to New Hampshire. That's what I'm getting at. Plus, it's not really like they were offering me anything other than publicity, and I was like,
yeah.
Like half my speech is going to be how all Yankees are gay. So I don't know how much my target audience is going to be up there.
Yeah, it's not gonna pay off for either of you.
Yeah, it's north plus east.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. I only go one direction at a time. So if I have to go anywhere else after north, then I'm stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I avoid New England states with great prejudice. Amen. I mean, you know, I've told people in the past, I'm glad that I went to New York. We went to New York City right after 9/11, which is kind of weird.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so I never saw pre 9/11 New York. I saw immediately after 9/11 New York. And I'm glad I went so that I could say I saw it. Like, oh, look at the sights and the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island and the Empire State Building and, you know, all that stuff. I didn't get to see the Twin Towers.
No.
They're just lights. They had those big lights coming up.
Yeah.
You could see them. We went to the top of the Empire State Building at night. And by the way, it's super windy up there. Nobody told me this was spring break for us. And nobody told me that when I got there, it was going to be cold and windy. Like, it's spring break. We're supposed to be having a party.
No, spring's pretty chilly. Yeah.
No, it was cold as shit. I was wearing slacks, a t-shirt, and a jacket over my t-shirt. And by my standard, that's like, that's wintry weather right there.
Yeah.
And you turn, it's like, depending on which way the wind's blowing, you turn that corner of a building and it goes through you. I was penetrated by it. It goes right through you.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad.
Get molested in the winter.
No, I couldn't do that. And so when we went to the top of the Empire State Building, it's like, listen, when you go out there, just, you know, like they have all those big railings and stuff. You can't do anything fun, like jump off. But, you know, and yeah, dude, you turn the corner. It's funny because like on two sides, it's like you just, you do this with your hands and all you hear is just, and then you turn the corner and it's, you can't hear anything. You don't even know what people are saying. Like I'm looking at you and you're going, and I just, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's all I hear. But we could see the towers of light where the Muslims died. And then, and we drove by there. We drove by there and there were big holes. They're super.
Oh yeah.
Really big. So anyway, that's what I did that weekend. How about you, Dave?
I don't know. I just chilled. I was chilling.
What were you doing the first weekend of April in 2002?
Oh. I was interviewing for my job.
The job you have now?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're old, dude.
Yeah. This year I have officially been at my job as long as I have been not at my job. I have 23
Ooh.
years and I'm 46 years old.
Wow. That means
Yeah, it's
every
weird.
moment from this point forward,
Yeah.
you're
This
lesser.
is more of my life. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is more of my life than my
yeah.
pre-life.
You can confidently look in the mirror tomorrow morning and say the best is behind you.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it can still be good, but yeah, the best is. Yeah. That's
Oh
way better.
yeah. You got to manage your expectations from here on out.
Yeah. See, that's my whole mantra of life is
Mhm.
low expectations, pleasant surprises.
Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, look at me. It's like, life is in the shitter. Nobody will hire me. Write a book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, write a book.
I mean, I got
See?
all this time.
Yeah. When else are you gonna have time to write a book?
I don't know. I mean, I would say retirement, but I'm never going to get to retire now.
Yeah. So here you go. This is taking good use of your time.
I'm glad that tickled you so much. I'm just going to kill myself. It's fine.
Remington retirement plan.
Yeah. 45 days. That's all we got to do, guys.
My goodness.
Well, we're only just now starting to approach 1 hour. See, it happened.
Yeah.
The same thing happened last week where we had our history lesson, but there was still some time left. And it's like, well, now what are we going to do? And it was just awkward.
We had some good conversation. That was nice.
I don't remember.
There was something else about that time period. I can't remember what I was going to say. One of the things is that all those dudes are like younger than me, right?
It is true that a lot of the revolutionaries who were writing those things and doing those things were younger than you are now. Yes.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Thanks, Michael.
When Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, signed that mother, and sent it to England, he was 33.
And now look what 33-year-olds are doing now.
Yeah, just memes. Yeah.
Playing Call of Duty, living in their parents' basement.
They were rich and could write silly papers all day. That's the one thing I'm missing. I've got the whole format down. I'm just not rich.
Yeah.
This is not going to end well for me.
No,
I need to have that huge windfall to fall back on. Michael Clark says, "Why does Alan look so thin? The AI looks so fake." I don't think I even look that much different yet. I mean, I'm 187 today, but I'm trying to get to 169. So I don't
nice.
I don't think I look any different yet.
Yeah. You won't.
Like
That's
I won't think I am, or I just won't ever look different.
No, you won't think you do.
Okay.
You'll
It's like
never reach the standard that you're trying to attain in your
Son
own
of a
eyes.
bitch. Yeah, you won't.
This is all futile, Alan. You know all this.
Yeah, I know.
torture.
I'm just busting my ass for fucking nothing. Jesus. Ryan says invest in Bitcoin. Damn it, Ryan. Where were you in 2005?
Yeah.
To tell me that. I actually know where I was when someone said, "Here's all you need to know to like get in on Bitcoin." And at that time, a Bitcoin was like, I forget. I think it was $87 was a Bitcoin.
Yeah. Right.
And I remember seeing it And I remember actually thinking a lot of it. And at the time, I had like I actually had a job then and
Disposable
had
income.
money. Yeah. And I was thinking like I could put a couple of grand into this and then just forget about it.
Yeah.
And whatever happens happens. Obviously, you know what I did. Not do.
Your manifestos would be so crazy right now if that
Oh
happened.
man. Well, you think like a lot of people really like Sam Hyde, and I like Sam Hyde. I think he's funny, but I also think it's like obviously a lot of that is a shtick because he's also a smart dude. And that's why he more recently has gotten more into political commentary, but he also is kind of a retard at the same time. But a lot of people don't know that the reason Sam Hyde is like, if you're thinking, how is Sam Hyde Sam Hyde? And the answer is he's a Bitcoin guy. He was a guy that bought a bunch of Bitcoin when really early on. Like he said that himself. He said in an interview that he's like, look, I don't, I try to treat every day as a gift because I know that the only reason I'm able to do what I do is because I was just lucky enough to make a decision one day that, because I've made plenty of decisions that didn't work out, I've invested in things that's like, well, there goes all my money, but that one worked. And, so like I respect that he has that perspective about it.
Yeah.
So
He's
I'm
got that
Sam Hyde, but
uncancelable
without all the Bitcoin. Yeah. I almost bought Bitcoin at like $3 to buy drugs on Silk Road, but it was too complicated. Ain't that a goddamn shame?
That's kind of the same story for me, except without the drugs. Somebody's telling me about it, and I was lazy. I thought about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't feel like looking into this,
Yeah.
getting a wallet and stuff.
Yeah. I was like, I can't
None of
even
that made
install my
sense.
print drivers. I'm not going to do
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
I was thinking about that last night. Why haven't printers gotten any better or easier?
They
Like, it's
have.
still a joke,
Every
like-
new printer I've ever seen in the last like 10 years, you just plug it in and it works.
Yeah, for the most part, probably. I have mine. Mine will occasionally like drop off of my Chromebook. Like it'll just be like, yeah, we can't use that printer. I'm like, just printed something yesterday.
Howard says, I wanted to invest in AOL before it took off. My wife held me back. Did you see in the news that AOL just announced that they will no longer be offering dial-up internet service? Bye, Dave.
Oh, where'd I go?
Hi, Dave.
Can you hear me? I'm back.
Yeah.
Am I here? Okay.
What the hell?
So I think I checked the message, and that was just too much for my dial-up. And I was gonna say, what are we gonna do for the show? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
You literally faded out of existence and then reappeared.
Isn't that weird?
That's yeah. So that's not. This isn't a bit
ascending,
right
I
now.
think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I think
Well, anyway, Dave, when you get there, tell him I didn't mean any of that I said and did.
It's just a joke.
I was just joshing you, man.
Just full of.
End of an era. That's right, Howard. Well, none of us knew that this is how it would end. Dave would literally phase out of existence. This is gonna be a
canceled
weird
my
ass
dial-up.
conversation with Mary. Yeah.
Mary, I think the rapture happened, and I got bad news for you. you didn't make the cut.
All right.
Somebody
Yeah.
said
Do you
Dave
want
did.
the long story or the short story? I know you're busy. Look, Alan, I got a lot going on. Give me the short story. Okay, Dave's gone.
It's just gone.
Then she might
Might
want
be-
the longer story.
Yeah.
Dave's gone. Just
That was weird.
Aaron says, tomorrow I'm going to make my supervisor regret his very existence. Look at that humble brag. Look at me. I got a supervisor. I'm gainfully employed.
That makes our conversations awkward also, because like a lot of the things I have to talk about are work related, because that's where I spend the majority of my life. But I always feel like I'm not trying to like rub in that I'm employed, but there's nothing else going on in my life.
Lyle says, so the regional maintenance guy's boss came today and said he was going to help me out on the first day the new maintenance guy started. Why is everyone dogging me? Everyone's got a job. Jesus. No, I'm just joking. Lyle has been basically he's been solo speed running a do maintenance for an entire facility speed run,
Yeah.
any percent, no major glitches. And now, like almost a year later, they finally hired some help, and then told him, look, man, we'll help you out.
Yeah.
As opposed to the last,
busy running.
yeah. Gainfully means you make money, Aaron. I'm assuming you're not going broke. Me, on the other hand, I'm going broke. Michael's writing a book.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of meandered into mine. He's doing it on purpose. I accidentally wrote a book.
Oops. What do I do?
Yeah, I really don't know what to do now.
Yeah. You gotta get some eyes on it, right? Get it.
Yeah, I've run out of savings though, so I'll probably have to go back to work in October. Yeah, I ran out of I ran out of savings a long time ago. I'm really surprised I haven't been evicted yet.
What?
You know the state still hasn't paid me any unemployment.
I've been following along.
Friday is week 11.
Yeah, but from what I was researching, that's about their timeline. What the hell?
Well, we'll see. We'll see when we see, I guess.
But they got people. They got human eyes on it now, right? So it's any minute now.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought last week. I thought last week.
Yeah,
it was gonna
I thought you were
happen.
being a little optimistic. I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, Friday, really?
Well, on Monday morning of last week, they were like, "We got everything, thanks," and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this is the week." And then,
I'll be watching my account.
yeah, and then this week, I was like, "Well, okay, we'll forget about that one." You know, it's like quarterback throws an interception. Just put that out of your mind. It's next drive.
Yeah, you gotta.
And
reframe.
now tomorrow's Thursday of week 11.
Coming up to another Friday.
You know what? This is the funniest part to me. There's not a lot of funny parts. This is the funniest part.
Yeah, that's good.
Is you can only draw unemployment for 12 to 15 weeks. I've gone 11 weeks and haven't gotten paid yet. So, like, if they process it next week, it'll just be like, okay, well, good luck.
We're done here.
Yeah. Well, as long as the check is for all 12 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
But it would have made my life a little bit less stressful if I had actually gotten that over the 12 weeks rather than, you know. Anyway, dude, it's wild. It's wild what's going on down here. The old lady I picked up from the hospital says she's going to tell them to pay me a bonus. Amen.
Yeah.
That's what, Lyle, you need to start. Yeah, you need to start a insurrection at the home to get all the old folks to argue on your behalf that you should get a raise.
Yes.
Have them start saying, our families are looking at transferring us out of here unless that Lyle fella gets his due.
Whatever you're paying them, it ain't enough.
Yep. Man, that's gonna be sick. Imagine that march, such as it is.
Named after DEIP.
Yeah, he's thinking of like Wilma Rudolph and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's why I love the free state of Florida, where when my wife had unemployment, it was quick. That and they let me have all my chickens.
Ooh. Yeah, we found out you're not allowed to have roosters around here in town.
Well, that's bullshit.
Bother the neighbors. Yeah. Thought this was America.
Yeah, those went outside y'all's Airbnb when y'all were here. Just remember that?
Well,
He's just out there. And y'all were like staying in town. Like y'all weren't staying out in the country.
nice, Lyle.
Yeah. Cock blockers. Yeah. That's all right, you guys. Dave used to know how to do the buttons. He just quit. He quit doing buttons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I even had to go to a
forgot they
split
work.
screen, so Dave literally does 0 buttons.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Just
He
stare at the
doesn't even know
camera
we're streaming
awkwardly.
right now. He thinks we're just hanging out. Who are you talking to? All right. Well, we passed an hour. Let's.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm struggling today. I worked another
need to-
12, and I'm
Oof.
operating the machine. I have an engineer with me because we're doing like a test, and I'm like losing time. I just succumb to the hum. And just
Mm. Thanks,
make
Aaron.
sure you're all subscribed, at least on Twitch. Easy,
Yeah.
usually free.
Yeah. It's kind of whatever at this point. I mean, I'm basically living off of my Twitch money. It don't go very far.
No.
No. Why are there even this many people watching? Night, Howard. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tell that Bolden character the next time you see him that you pay that son of a bitch Alan what he deserves. And the next email I get is your services are no longer required.
Yeah. Pay him what he's worth. Yeah, like more than half the audience just showed up like after the actual content.
Yeah. Well, that's because they wanted to hear from their favorite guests.
Oh yeah. We did start doing a little interviewing. Thanks, Harley. Welcome to the show.
This is the show? Jesus.
Yeah, kinda.
Imagine us getting new viewers because we start doing topics of historical significance, and then we do the next episode of It's Too Late.
Yeah.
And just,
Gonna freak out all the libertarians.
yeah.
They came here for liberty content, and then they get It's Too Late.
Yeah. Yeah. People that used to watch The Gold Standard, and then they tune into It's Too Late.
Oh, he's still doing that show.
Got a new background. Yeah. Well, I'm happy with that. I think if you guys like that, then we're just going to call that chapter a success. And I guess I need to write a foreword to the book. Do a foreword, and then that introduces what it's about, and then just put some acknowledgments at the end. You know, your little special thanks tos and all that. Do you want to be in the acknowledgments, Dave?
No, that's okay. I'm not helpful in any of this.
No, you.
I mean, you can.
The acknowledgments isn't for people that were helpful in writing the book.
Oh,
It's acknowledgments to people that you're thanking in some way.
I guess I could fit into that category. I
I
did come
already-
on the
I-
show to help out for a couple weeks.
I told Mike Meharry I've got his acknowledgement already written. It's pretty. I actually no. Hold on.
Are we gonna sneak peek?
Credit to my friend Mike Meharry, who warned me before embarking on this newfound writing journey that, quote, nobody reads. That's what the acknowledgments are for.
That's a long boy.